Welcome to the Challenges of Change, the podcast where we explore the transformative journey towards self-improvement and personal growth. I'm your host, Laura, a mindset coach in the health and fitness industry, here to guide you through the hurdles that life throws at you. In each episode, we'll delve into practical strategies and insightful discussions to help you manage stress, regulate your emotions, upgrade your mindset, and ultimately reclaim your sense of worth. I'm thrilled to have you join me on this journey of change, challenges, and self-discovery. Welcome back to another episode of the Challenges of Change. And this one, you are probably going to want a pen and paper for because it's going to be a little active. Something that I've noticed time and time again with my clients is how our ego kind of plays on us without our awareness and keeps moving our end line. I have clients who will tell me they want something, and then when they get that thing, all of a sudden the goal line moves. And I've seen it time and time again. Clients themselves have been able to tell me that they're now living the dream life they had, that they wanted, 5-10 years ago. So what's happening in between what we want and when we get there? And what I'm going to suggest is that we're not defining our life. Let's look at health as a great place to start. We'll start with physical health. Society preaches a specific type of excuse me. Can you edit that out, please? Thank you. So let's look at health, physical health specifically, at least right now. Society preaches a specific message around what physical health looks like and what it takes to get that. And the messaging is a little distorted because every body is unique and every human is unique, and the hormones and how we digest things. I mean, there's so many factors at play that it seems impossible to actually just say, this is what it is. And one of the things that I've realized on my own health journey, but also being able to help hundreds of other people on theirs, is we don't actually know what we want with our health. And I give this example to clients all the time. If you're going on a road trip or a vacation or anything of that nature, you don't just pack a bunch of stuff in a bag and then show up at the airport or just start driving. Like, you know where you're going. With our health, we'll set goals, but we aren't looking at the right goals. So, for example, a lot of women will say they want to lose 10, 20, 30 pounds. And that's not the right goal to set because that's a deadline. It's not a goal. It's when I get to that point, then I will feel comfortable, confident, whatever it's going to be. But that's not actually the commitment you're making. The commitment you're making, the actual goal, is the lifestyle that would give you that experience. So here's how I encourage you to think about it. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to actually write down what you define as your health goals. I believe that we each need to find our own apex, as in where our lifestyle meets our fulfillment. A lot of times when we're trying to lose weight or get healthier, whatever that mission might look like for you, we'll supersede the lifestyle for the goal itself. We'll adjust our habits. We'll not be as social. We won't drink as much. We'll do all these things that cut away from our fulfillment in our life experience. And it's because our health is important to us or because we're insecure or a handful of other reasons. But that's not pure motivation. That's not true desire. That's, trying to put a Band-Aid on a deeper issue that we have within ourselves. And people can commit to those habits for a set period of time. But when they get to their deadline, whatever that weight number is or however they set it, then all of a sudden it gets really, really hard to stick to those habits because they're not committing to the lifestyle and the habits. They're not looking at how these habits meet their overall fulfillment. So I'll give you myself as an example. For those who don't know, I live in Tampa, and they just opened a new restaurant, bakery. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but it's called Cinnaholics. And for those who don't know, I love cinnamon, and it's a cinnamon roll joint where you can literally personalize your own cinnamon rolls, and they are so freaking good. It's dangerous. And last night, I ended up eating an entire cinnamon roll after dinner, and I licked the knife. It was so good. I mean, delicious. I don't regret a single bite of it. And within an hour of eating it, I felt so tired, so nauseous, so bloated. Still didn't regret eating it because it was delicious. But then my next thought, once I realized how I was feeling, was, see, this is why you don't do that often. And that's part of the journey, is understanding that sometimes we eat unhealthy to motivate us to be healthy. And I have eaten great today and still want to, because this morning I woke up still feeling a little icky. And when I looked at my body in the mirror, the thought I had was, not my best, but I always try to appreciate and love my body because it does so many things for me. And I remember thinking, like, even though I know exactly how to manipulate my body and my habits to lose, say, another 10 pounds if I wanted to, because I've done that before, that 10 pounds is the difference between my fulfillment and that deadline. I can get to that 10 pounds later, but at what cost? My health is good. The numbers look good. I'm in the right measurements and medians in terms of body fat and weight and all that jazz. So it really is just my desire based on what society tells us, right? So my apex is actually 10 pounds heavier than what I know I can get to at my lowest. And I'm okay with that, because that means every now and then I get a really delicious cinnamon roll or some pizza. And that's part of the life that I want to live. Your decisions might be different, but what isn't the answer is perfection. And I feel like that's where a lot of people go. So pull out that pen and paper, and I want you to really get crystal clear about how you want to define what health means to you. Let's start with physical health, and then we'll work through things. Keep in mind, you're not setting a goal like, I want to lose X amount of pounds. How will you know when you're at your health apex? How will you know that you're living a lifestyle that respects and honors how you want to experience your health, and where you can have and experience a fulfilling life? What will you be experiencing? How will you know? Take a moment, write that down. Pause me if you need to. And here's why it's important to get to that. If you don't, you're going to keep moving the end line. Let's look at success. What does it mean for you to live a successful life? Is that a number in terms of money? Is it a certain square footage of house? Is it a certain brand of car or clothing? Is it connections you have? Is it experiences you create? Is it how you experience your life? Again, I hear these things all the time. I just want to have a successful career. Okay, what does that mean? I've known people who climb all the way to the top of the ladder, and then they get there and they don't know what's next because they've been so busy climbing they never opened their eyes to actually consider, is this what I want? Along that journey, we end up finding things that feel right to us. Maybe we're meant for middle management, not for C-level suite. And there's nothing wrong with that, because maybe you also have a family at home, and it's really, really important that you spend time there and have a career that is nourishing, but it doesn't ultimately consume all of you. Doesn't make one right or wrong. It makes it personal. That's why it's your definition and your life choice. Let's look at relationships. If we look at, let's go with friendships first. What will you need to experience in friendships to know that that is a quality friendship? What do you need to create? How do you need to show up? But also, what do you need to be able to receive to tier that person as a quality friend or a best friend, or, whatever the terminology is that you use? Now, what about romantic relationships? Is it about how they communicate emotionally? Is it about how you experience yourself through them? Super corny. My husband totally makes fun of me for this one, but ever since I've become a coach, I've gotten a lot more keen on some of the reality TV shows and dating shows because I think I enjoy listening to people's experience because that's what I do as a coach and kind of like understanding, how their brain works a little bit and analyzing it. And it's funny to me to kind of enjoy that as like a passive thing. But I was listening to Love is Blind, season 5, and listening to one of the women's vows, and they were all about her. I knew I wanted to marry you because you made me feel accepted. You made me feel like I could be me. You made me feel like my uniqueness wasn't weird. It was all about how he made her feel. And I'm not saying that's wrong or right, but she didn't say anything about what she loves about him. And it was just something I noticed. Again, no judgment, not wrong or right, just something I noticed. For some people, that is what they need in love. For other people, it's not. Again, doesn't make one wrong or right, just makes it different, unique, and human. But for you to feel fulfilled or happy or satisfied, fulfill in the adjective that is your desired experience of a romantic relationship. What does that look like? What is okay and what isn't okay? What are you willing to tolerate and what are you not? All of these questions and these suggestions, I do encourage you to actually take time, sit down and answer them because we're spinning our wheels without it. We're always improving. Life is about change. We're going to change as human beings as we age, as the world ages and evolves. But what is our actual definition of health, of success, of love, of friendship, of anything else? If we don't know where we're going on our road trip, this adventure we call life, we just keep moving the end goal and feeling dissatisfied, feeling like it's not enough. And that's part of what keeps us stuck in the scarcity mindset. So let's take it to mental health because this one tends to be a little bit harder for people. Because of the messaging we get with mental health, we really don't think about what it means for us to be mentally healthy. We typically just can kind of understand when we're feeling well and when we're not. But if we compare it to physical health has, move your body, eat a certain way, drink water, sleep, stress, etc. What are those parameters for your mental health? What is your end goal for your mental health? Like if you could live in a specific mental and emotional energy within your mind every day, what would that look like? How would you experience challenge? How would you experience massacres? How would you experience death? How would you experience joy? What would you celebrate? Actually think about this and write it down. And honestly, I encourage you to bookmark this, save it, go home, journal about it, because defining your life is really that important. It's where you decide that you're going to be the creator of what your life experience is going to be, rather than just allowing the program that was instilled in you to keep running. We all have a fictitious blueprint influenced from culture and society, friends and family, and whatever else we're taking in all the time. It shades our vision. It distorts how we perceive our experience. If we aren't clarifying what's ours, we're picking up everyone else's stuff, thinking that's what we should do, but then we do it and it doesn't feel right, and then we feel stuck or frustrated or hopeless. The reality is the only person who's going to be able to save you in your life experience and how you want to be here is you. It's just a matter of when you decide to choose to take that driver's seat in your brain. And all I'm simply suggesting is that a simple first step is sitting down, taking the time and answering some of those questions and defining what's important to your life and what your end goals are. And I would also be cautious when defining what those end goals are to make sure they're yours. Take finances. as a example. A lot of people will say, I want, to keep it simple, $1 million, let's say. They want $1 million. Well, $1 million now is very different than what $1 million was, 100 years ago, which is going to be different than what $1 million is 20, 30, 40, 100 years from now. Rather than thinking about it as a specific number, how do you want to experience your finances? For example, maybe you want to feel secure in your finances where you can comfortably afford all your bills, have enough space to save for retirement and potential college funds, and go on vacation. Maybe you just want to be able to afford your house and your bills. Again, there's no right or wrong, but if you can define that, it's going to shape how you make decisions. People think, I need to get to that number to then meet all the other prerequisites that we created subconsciously in our brain, but let's not make them subconscious. Let's make them conscious. Let's be the definer of our life. We get one life to live. So why are we allowing other people to sabotage it? Why are we allowing other people to infiltrate our brain, program us, and dictate what we do? Because we're not in there. You kind of got to knock on our head and be like, hey, it's time to move over and allow our own presence to be the creator. So I really do hope that you take the time to sit down and answer those questions for yourself. And I love feedback. So please let me know, what did you come up with? Was it what you thought you would come up with? And now that you have defined it, how are you thinking differently or similarly in each choice you make as you move through life? As always, I know you could be anywhere, listening to anyone, doing anything, but you took that time to sit and listen to me. And please know, I truly am grateful. And I hope that I'm able to have an impact on you. And if it did, please share it, because that is really why I am here. With that being said, have a wonderful week. I will see you next time.
Thank you for joining me on today's episode of The Challenges of Change. If you're ready to stop stressing and reclaim your sense of worth, be sure to visit my website at www.changebychallenge.com. There, you'll find loads of resources, blog posts, and information on how to work with me, Cora, as your personal mindset coach. Remember, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Don't let burnout or any other obstacle hold you back from living your best life. Take the first steps towards positive transformation today. Thank you again for listening. Stay confident, stay inspired, and embrace the challenges of change. Until next time.